Hey, good afternoon. This is Pete from FigLife.com, and today I'm looking at another fig variety. This one's called Black Tuscan. And Black Tuscan is a Black Madeira type fig variety. It's one of several Black Madeira types that I've grown this season. But this will be my first time trying Black Tuscan specifically. I have never tried that particular variety before. Unfortunately, I had to move this tree down into the grow room a while back because it just wasn't far enough along that I was going to get ripe fruit from the tree if I just left it outside. So it's not a great representation of what you'd get here in Northern Virginia in terms of fruit quality, but I at least was able to get some fruit off of the tree, or at least one fruit off of the tree. So that's better than nothing, I guess. So anyway, let's go take a look at the Black Tuscan tree and the fruit. Hey, good morning. I'm looking at Black Tuscan today, and got my little Black Tuscan tree here. It's about maybe like 1.5 feet tall. But it decided to put out a whole bunch of figs right at the very end here. Look at all these figs at the top of this little tree. It's crazy. But I did so I had to ripen it in the grow room here because it was just not far enough along where I was going to get it to ripen outside. And in fact, now it's October 17th. It's really cooled off here outside. It was actually cold out this morning. I had to put a jacket on or something. But I think I've got a ripe one here. I've ripened it in my grow room. So you know, these grow room ripened ones are going to be different than the ones I ripen outside. They just end up having kind of different characteristics. It's just such a different climate, you know, here in the grow room. Some of it's artificial, but then you know, some of it kind of mimics other areas, you know, with respect to it being much drier in here. In particular is something that I think has a pretty big effect. Let's see here. So you can see the eye there. Looks like a little bit of honey is kind of plugging up that eye. So that's nice. It's a little soft. So I think it might be spoiled like right through here because it just feels a little too soft for me, but we'll see. Let me take this outside and take a better look at it. Yeah, it is downright chilly out here. But here I am, I'm outside. It's actually morning time. I usually record these in the evening, so maybe the light might be a little different than normal here, but you see this Black Tuscan, and it's a Black Madeira type fig. So you can see it has that sort of Black Madeira look to it. Normally this will get black all the way around here, but growing under the grow lights that may change that a little bit. I'm not sure. Oh boy, got a big windstorm coming through later today. That's why I was actually going through my grow room this morning, because I wanted to see if I could clear up some room so I could move some of these other trees in the grow room, because if not, they're just gonna get bashed around outside here in the cold, windy weather. So anyway, it's beside the point. All right, back to Black Tuscan. So yeah, Black Madeira type. So you can see it kind of has that Black Madeira look, and some of the other characteristics that are common to the Black Madeiras, they tend to grow slowly, and you saw the Black Tuscan really not putting on a lot of growth, you know, growing slowly, sure enough. And also, well, they usually have a good taste, so we'll see how that works out. But also they can be a challenge to grow outside here, because any moisture tends to really split these Black Madeiras open. They're usually pretty bad splitters. So this one in particular, I don't know, because I moved it in the grow room before I really started getting ripe figs, and the grow room, I'm able to really reduce the moisture down a lot. So there's not a lot of moisture there in the grow room, so I don't have to deal with the splitting stuff. So I forgot my scale, but let me just go ahead and cut this open. All right, so got my grow room ripened Black Tuscan here. It actually looks pretty good on the inside. I was concerned I was going to see a lot of rot inside of there. Occasionally I'll get that with those grow room ripened figs. It'll just be brown on the inside, but this one actually looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any rot there. I'm not seeing any brown or anything like that. I am seeing a lot of honey on the inside of that. I mean, look at that. When I cut it open, it almost like is oozing out of it. And some other things, you know, these grow room ripened figs tend to get really thin skin and kind of a thin, chewy skin. If there's any sweetness associated with it, it'll taste really good, that chewiness. But I seem to get that a lot more with the grow room ripened figs than with the ones, same variety, you know, if I were to grow it outside. All right, let me try this. Figs and coffee. Having figs for breakfast this morning. Cut it up into quarters. If I can, this is like kind of falling apart here. All right. All right, let me try this Black Tuscan. Black Tuscan. Okay, that was actually pretty good. Like I said, I thought it might be spoiled, but it's not. It's just really soft. Let me try this other piece here. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some pretty good sweetness to that. That's the other thing with the grow room. Sometimes, you know, the light intensity I have down there is really, I've got heat. I mean, I've got heat. It's like low 80s. But the light intensity down there is really, I mean, that grow setup is really designed for growing cuttings. And the ripening of fruit is just sort of like an added benefit. It's like a bonus. I didn't design the thing to ripen fruit. I designed it to grow cuttings. So the amount of light intensity you need in order to grow cuttings is less than the amount of light intensity that you're supposed to have to ripen fruit. So, you know, I think that is a, you know, if I were designing that thing again to ripen fruit specifically, I would want to put more light in there. Now that would create a lot of problems because I'm right up against like circuit breaker, you know, current limitations for that room and stuff. But that would just be something I would have to deal with if I were designing it to do that. I didn't do that. It's designed for cuttings. So the fact that I am ripening fruit in there, you know, I think that results in some sort of substandard ripening conditions. Basically not quite enough light. So I think that's why a lot of times for some of these varieties, they don't taste quite as good as they should because they're not getting quite as much light as they should. But this one, excuse me, some varieties still end up tasting really good. And this is one that actually is still tasting really good. Good sweetness there, a nice rich or you know, complex sort of berry flavor. Yeah, it's tasty, and it's got enough sweetness there that the skin has that chewy, sweet sort of berry flavor, which is nice. But that was so that was Black Tuscan. You know, again, a Black Madeira type. You know, I can't personally tell the difference between like Black Madeira. You know, like, oh, that definitely tastes like Black Tuscan as opposed to, you know, whatever. Black Madeira. I don't know. I can't really taste the difference personally. They all have that same sort of really nice berry flavor and kind of a similar sort of like interior look to them as well. But and also, you know, for the growers on the East Coast, that was ripened in my grow room, so you know that fig is not characteristic of like an East Coast ripened Black Madeira type fig. And I've done videos on those before. You know, I think the best one I put together this season was the Madeira Island Black video, because I was able to ripen one outside, and then also I was able to show like what happens when it rains, which is basically like it just splits open like terribly. So anyway, but I did actually get my best Black Madeira that I got all season from outside was not the Madeira Island Black. I think that was the most typical. The best one I got was actually Craven's Craving, and that was just recently. Within like maybe like a week ago. My tree was right over here, and it was actually really good. I mean, it was I think the best Black Madeira I've ever ripened outside here in Northern Virginia, because it's just so. You just have to have such a nice string of weather, to get that thing to ripen real well. It happens on occasion, but it's just not a very frequent thing, and during a given season it may never happen. So, I'm not real bullish on the Black Madeira types here in Northern Virginia. It's just not the right climate for those types of figs. But grow room. I think that's if you're really into figs and you have like a grow room setup that is designed to actually ripen figs, which again you need a lot more light for that. Then I think that is an option, because you can't control the temperature of the water that way and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of people doing that probably. So anyway, that was Black Tuscan, my only fig so far this season, and I'm probably going to pull that out of the grow room. I have too many other fig varieties, fig trees that I need, that just haven't ripened yet, and I need to get those down there. So I'm trying to pull some of those other ones out of there that I've already gotten figs off of, or that I'm just not interested in really getting any more off of. So I'll probably do that today, pull that Black Tuscan tree out of there, and make room for something else, something new. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit subscribe and check out my website, www.figlife.com. Thanks.